my name is Wang Jelin. Today I will be telling a story titled The Firebird and Princess Vasilisa. I am a huntsman. I have a horse, a creature wiser than most men in the king's court. One day while hunting, I found a single feather from the legendary Firebird. It was warm in the touch, shining so brightly it blinded me for a second. I thought, if I bring this to the king, he will reward me beyond my wildest dreams. My horse looked at me with those heavy, sorrowful eyes and whispered, "Master, please leave the feather. Pick it up and you will learn the true way of fear." I ignored my horse. I pocketed the feather and I rode straight to the palace. The king didn't reward me at all. He looked at the golden feather, his eyes burning with avarice, and said, "If you can bring me a single feather, huntsman, you can bring me the Firebird itself. Do it or your head comes off on a spike." So I went back to the stables and wept into my horse's mane. But my faithful horse only nuzzled my shoulder. "Do not weep, huntsman," he told me. "Scatter corn upon the open plain at twilight." I did as he said, and as the sky turned the color of bruised plums, the air suddenly grew hot. And among the heat, down flew the Firebird, dazzling crimson and gold, its wings whipping up a wind of embers. It lowered its head to eat the corn. And before it knew what was happening, I threw a heavy chain network over its brilliant body. We brought it back to the king in a cage of silver. But a greedy heart is a bowl with a hole in the bottom. The king barely glanced at the magnificent bird. "Good," he sneered. "Now bring me Princess Vasilisa from the end of the earth. I wish to marry her. Fail, and off goes your head." Again, my horse saved me. He told me to ask the king for a tent of silk, gold-embroidered cloth, sweet wines, and fine pastries. We traveled to the edge of the world, where the land meets the deep blue ocean. There, I pitched the golden tent on the shore, set out the wine and pastries, and waited. Soon, Princess Vasilisa came rowing across the waters in a silver boat. She was as radiant as a dawn sky. Curiously, she stepped into my tent. She drank the wine, ate the sweet pastries, and fast asleep she fell right into my arms. So I carried her back to the palace on the back of my horse. But when Vasilisa awoke before the king, she looked at his withered face, and then me, and put her foot down. "I will not marry you," she told the king, "until my wedding dress is brought from the bottom of the deep blue ocean." And who do you think the king sent? Me. Back to the edge of the world we rode. My horse stomped his hoof upon the seashore, crushing a giant lobster king. The lobster king begged for his life. "Please, I will do anything you say." And my horse commanded, "Fetch the princess's dress from the deep sea floor." Thousands of crabs crept into the abyss and brought back a chest woven of sea gold, containing her gown. I thought I was finished. I thought I could finally take my horse and go home. But Princess Vasilisa had one last trap. She told the king, You are too ripe of age for me. To make you young and handsome enough for me to marry, you must bathe in a cauldron of boiling water." The king turned to me. "Huntsman, you first. Try the water and prove it is safe." Boiling water. Steam rolled off the massive iron pot and clouds that smelled of iron and heat. Death was right in front of me. I looked at my horse, standing outside the chamber window. He bowed his head and breathed a silent, ancient protection over me, a spell of ice and wind. I jumped into the scalding cauldron. It didn't burn. The magical breath of my horse had turned the boiling water into a soothing potion. And when I stepped out, I wasn't just unharmed. I was taller, more handsome, and glowing with the youth of a prince. The king saw this and lost his mind. Expecting the same transformation, he jumped straight into the boiling cauldron himself. And poof, that was the end of the king. The people of the kingdom didn't mourn him for a single second. They crowned me their new king on the spot, and Princess Vasilisa, seeing that I was a man who listened to wise counsel and valued loyalty, she took my hand in marriage. I still have that Firebird feather tucked away in my private chambers, but I never look at it without giving an apple to my horse, and remembering, magic is a dangerous thing, unless you have a friend who is wiser than you are. And that's all from me. Thank you.